Hello, this is Abe Cofnas with Wise Education Services. I'm happy to be here today to speak about binary options. Wise Education Services recently launched a binary option education course, which I am teaching, and we are very excited to hear that the New York Stock Exchange is also going to be launching a binary option products. So we thought it would be a very good idea to get a sense of what they're doing, since NYSE is such a credible and legitimate exchange. So we have here today Bill Ryan, who is in charge of that product. Bill, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Abe. Thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Excellent. I hope you're warmer than usual in New York City.
It's almost springtime here.
Very good. Well, what's really hot these days is binary options. If you notice in Google Trends, it's parabolic over the past few years. It's one of the most interesting markets in the world. Can you tell us a bit, what is the New York Stock Exchange doing or planning to do with binary options? Let's start that way and explore a little bit for our potential students why the product is interesting and its potential applications.
Well, Abe, let's start first with what a binary option is. Well, a binary option is an option that has two outcomes, either $0 or $100 in our case. So you have a possible outcome of 0 if the option is out of the money and $100 if the option is in the money. So we plan on launching our binary options at the end of April, the beginning of May, and we'll launch options on ETFs and equities. No index options, ETFs and equities.
Okay, very good. So it's a fixed payout. The maximum that you make is 100, and the maximum you could lose is the amount, the cost of the position. What about duration? How long? What's the expiration going to be on these options?
Okay, so let's take a look first at the profit and loss characteristics of our binaries. The most you can lose on the long side is the premium. The most you can make on the long side is $100 per contract minus that premium. Now, the most you can lose on the short side is $100 per contract minus the premium you bring in when you sell that binary, and the most you can make is the premium you bring in when you sell the binary. Now, we intend to list binary options with expirations going out 5 Fridays in a row. So in a month where the first Friday was the 7th, it would be the 7th, 14th, 28th, and then whatever the next Friday in the next month was. So we'll have 5 Fridays in a row. So you have up to possibility of 5 weeks of binary options where you can trade.
That's excellent. Tell us a bit about the underlying stocks. I gather you will be able to see an Apple binary, a Facebook binary, a Alibaba binary. That's pretty good.
Well, I don't know if Alibaba qualified, but Apple definitely, Facebook definitely. We have right now 85 stocks that qualify under our SEC rules. So we're going to launch with 60, and they will be the big names, like you said. Facebook, it'll be Intel, it'll be Apple, it'll be Google. There'll be the SPY available, the QQQ available. So it's all going to be big names in the ETF and the equity world.
Well, that gives a great opportunity to play not only markets but equities. How does this differ from the existing binary? It seems like the structure is the same from what's being offered, for example, at the North American Derivative Exchange, also known as NADEX. What do you think is the essential difference in how you approach that instrument?
Well, the first difference is that NADEX is a CFTC-regulated entity, and we're an SEC-regulated entity. So we have binaries on ETFs and equities. NADEX can't trade the ETF or the equity. They have products that based on oil, currency pairs, and some indices. So that's two of the main differences between the two. Another one is that NADEX, I believe, is the broker as well as the exchange. So they hold you have your account with NADEX. With us, your account would have to be at a broker-dealer because the broker-dealer has to access us. We don't have customers access us directly.
I see. So you're recruiting broker-dealers to come on board. Are you able to announce any of them at this moment in time?
No, I can't announce just yet, but we're working with the big names in the business, as you can imagine, and we have some of the discount or internet brokers signed up already, and one or two of the full service firms. One that's going to allow binaries, one that's very serious about it. but we're not at the point where we can release those names just yet.
Bill, will this be able to be traded in an IRA instrument?
Well, the IRA is going to depend on the brokerage firm. I don't think that there'll be an IRS rule against them trading there, but it's going to be up to the brokerage firm to allow these in an IRA account.
It could be conceivably a self-directed IRA, but options are allowed in an IRA. So you're thinking it's a brokerage firm dependent decision.
Yeah, I think it depends on how they view the product. I mean, you could look at this product as a protective product, like you can a protective put, because you can hedge with a binary. You're just hedging dollars, not pure stock movement. So depending on the firm, they may look at it as a speculative instrument or as a hedging instrument. And as I said, that's up to the individual firms.
I see. How about the issue of settlement price? I mean, how do you determine what is the official price when it ends? Because that's where there's huge differences around the world in binary firms.
Well, our products settle on an all-day VWAP on expiration Friday. So for those that don't understand, the VWAP is a volume-weighted average price. We simply take each trade, the number of shares in the trade, multiply it by the price of the trade, and then we add that up over the course of the day, and then we do some division. So we end up with X number of shares, X number of premium divided by the number of shares, and we get our volume-weighted average price. Now, what we do with that price, we do what we call unique rounding. We calculate out to 6 places. So let's say the VWAP finishes at 29.99999. We truncate and make that 29.99. If it finishes at 30.00000, we round it up to 30.01. And we do that because we want one of our binaries, either the finish high or the finish low, to be in the money at expiration. So we're eliminating the strike price pin risk.
Okay, that seems to be pretty fair. It's transparent. Something I think is similar. Would if someone learned the strategies and how to play a Nadex binary, would those strategies apply as well to the NYSE binaries? I think you call them birds, right?
Yeah, we call them birds, binary return derivatives. And I believe that, some of the Nadex strategies would apply. My experience over the years has told me that an option's an option, and you can use them in the futures world and the equity world. So I can't see why the Nadex strategies would not apply in our world.
What about in a crisis, NFP report comes out, these massive, volatility moves? Is there going to be any restriction on trading these during those periods of time?
No, Abe, we'll follow pretty much the standard rules for listed options. If the underlying stock stops trading, then the options will stop trading, and that will include the binary. So as long as the stock is still trading and the options trading, then the binary will trade.
That's interesting. One observation I'd like to see your point of view on. Binaries have got a mixed name around the world. There's some Cyprus-based firms. There are firms that are higher or lower binaries, not with the laddered approach that you are offering. How do you position these fixed digital payout binaries in the realm of legitimacy? A lot of people think that it's gambling, maybe it makes you exciting, but I'd like your take on that.
Well, we look at, with the New York Stock Exchange, we're SEC regulated, and that should tell people that this is not a scam. This is, a legitimate investment product. It's a tool. It's just like any other option. It works in a lot of places, and it works well if used properly. Just like any tool, if you use it wrong, there'll be some consequences. But it's the New York Stock Exchange and an SEC-regulated product. You go through your broker-dealer. It's not like, you give us a Visa card or anything. You go into your broker-dealer. So there's a lot of legitimate entities behind the binaries.
I think that's useful to know. Kind of clears the air. Are there any position limits? Could someone with a very large account put on a significant amount of money, more than the average person would be? Could you talk about that kind of limitation?
Well, the SEC has given us a 25,000 contract position limit on either side of the market. So either side of the market would be a long finish high and a short finish put. Those would be both considered the same side of the market. So we have a position limit of 25,000 contracts per side. Now, this is a new product. The SEC is very cautious about what they do, and they feel that the 25,000 is a good position limit to start with.
So if it's 25,000 total positions, and let's say it's at the money one, you're talking quite a lot of money. You're talking $1.25 million in total amount on that. Is that the way to look at that?
Yeah, that's the total amount that would pay out at expiration if everything was in the money. Yes.
That's right. So it's not 25,000 people. It's 25,000 lots on, and of course it depends on how much is that.
Well, Abe, it's actually a little bit bigger than that because it's $25,000 per person or entity, if you will. So it's not 25,000 across the whole marketplace. I, as an individual, could have 25,000. You could have 25,000.
Right. And but the limit is okay. But is there a total limit?
No,
a number of people playing.
No, there's no limit on number of people that can be involved. The position limit applies to individuals and individuals who control across several accounts.
Are you going to be reporting accurate size on bid and offers?
Sure, these will be distributed over the tape just like any other option. So if we have a bid and offer, size attached to our quote, it'll be displayed on the screen, as will volume and as will open interest at the end of the day.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to listen to this very interesting interview. I think one of the conclusions that ought to be made is that this is a very interesting product, and it comes at a time of a lot of turbulence in the markets. We have strategies that will work in any direction. And what Bill indicated, in my view, that was very important is that even though that the New York Stock Exchange binaries are on big stocks and maybe an index or two QQQs and SPYs, what we're doing at Weiss is educating people on the DNA of the binary strategies. So once you learn that, be easy able to transport it and calibrate it to the New York Stock Exchange binaries. So this is a good time to increase your knowledge base and take this tool to the next level. I hope you're considering that. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ed. Take care.